Welcome to another exciting episode of the IsaacBoyz podcast. Dwayne the Ghost alongside Terrorizing. It's been a long time. It's been a while before we got into this, but we are coming at you guys with episode 101. Episode 101 of the podcast.
Yep.
Seems like after episode 100, things kind of went kind of wonky there for a second.
Yep.
But we'll get into that, of course. But glad to be finally back. Took a little bit of an impromptu hiatus. Not something we planned to do. Just kind of happened. And yeah, we'll cover it and get into it.
Yeah, a number of things happened. I'm sure you guys can notice my voice is still a little kind of weird. More on that in a bit. But yeah, we actually did episode 101. Almost like a month ago now, a couple of weeks now.
That's the first thing we should cover. Yeah, we did cover episode 101, and we did do what we said we were gonna do, which is
have more guests,
which we had a guest on, first guest like we talked about there, and did a whole episode, everything. It was a great episode, had good energy, good vibes. And then we ran into some real hiccups with the podcast. Did a whole episode, and the episode was unsalvageable.
It was unsalvageable because
there was an audio issue.
Yeah, one of the mics, the guest mic, apparently wasn't up to standards, and
And then it shined light on which ongoing issue that we had with one of our mics is that like randomly it would kind of go out, which I'm sure you guys have noticed. It kind of go not out, but it would go kind of weird.
It sounded kind of weird. And so on some of the podcasts we went back and seen a couple of them are like that.
So those two issues
kind of reared its ugly head, which now we have rectified it. As you can see, we should be crystal clear. Microphone check, testing 1 2.
Yep. we did an equipment upgrade for the podcast.
Yes.
So we got new mics, some stands, and everything is good to go now. It's something we should have done a long time ago. Because we were doing the podcast on kind of bare minimums, but they were coming out and they were coming out good. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. And we've tried to upgrade it a few times before, and they've all went horribly wrong. So we just always went back to the old equipment. The old stuff always seemed to work,
and then until they didn't. And it's like most people will think of like, well, what how hard is it? What could possibly go wrong? Why don't you just buy proper mics? Why don't you just buy this? But it's a number of things.
It's that, and it's putting everything together because everything's not coming from the same place.
Nope.
First and foremost. Secondly, like to get things on the island, that was also another issue too as well because things took a while to come in, which created a number of issues there. And then because then we had to get everything in and then try everything, which we have stuff that we bought that we're not even using right now because
I was about to mention that as well. We bought equipment that we thought, okay, maybe this would help with our audio issues.
Two major things I purchased. One, I just saw the receipt for what I was supposed to return, but that didn't happen.
Just collecting dust in another paperweight for the office. But
I mean, if things go bad again, at least we have those to
troubleshoot, right?
Troubleshoot with. But yeah, it's it took 100 episodes for us to do this upgrade that we needed to do, and I think we shouldn't have any issues for a long time because now got the video working pretty good. We got a decent camera now. As you see, the camera is a little more upgraded, a little bit better angle. So, and it's on a nice tripod, which is kind of cool. So that it's all set up for when we have guests. It's going to be a smooth transition.
It's a very easy transition because usually when we had guests,
we had to redo everything.
Our
whole setup.
Now it's just simple. We can just move.
It's better.
Everything feels a little more dialed in. Audio sounds good. Everything looks good. I think moving forward, we should be good. We should be able to coast for a while now. And we should be able to do guests very easily now. And we have a lot of guests lined up, actually. We have quite a bit.
Because we had them lined up, and then we had to postpone everything. So, it's not a good look on our part, from them, because we told them,
Yeah, some of them were actually have already left. They were on island, but they left the island. So we'll still have some troubleshooting to do because we still have to figure out how we're gonna do those type of podcasts. But you know,
But for everyone else, it's going to be streamlined.
yeah, everyone
So
that comes in person, it'll be pretty easy.
Good to go.
Yeah.
And as I set up right now, we do have an extra mic and stand here, which
Mhm.
kind of can't really see, but it's right there.
Yeah, but once we have a guest, we just move the camera back,
Yeah.
get them in the shot.
But I'm wondering if we have multiple guests, how could that work?
We just can't have multiple guests.
There you go. There's that. Or they can the stand can go back and forth. So if someone's there and there, it could maybe. But that's
If they want to like
share one, share a mic.
share a mic,
But
or maybe even we could share a mic. And well, anyway,
yeah,
that's off camera stuff.
we're ahead of ourselves there. But
Yep.
it feels good to be back. I've actually missed doing this. It past couple of weeks. It was almost a month actually.
Just about a month, yeah.
And you know, not doing this, it feels different. And because a lot of what we do with the podcast does trickle over to our YouTube software as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a bummer. Didn't need to, but it kind of just did.
Yeah.
And with all these new stuff and all this, challenges we had to overcome, it made me realize that I one of our biggest issues I think that we have, and this is something I hope to rectify sooner rather than later, is our PR stuff. Because I realized that, for everyone that's on the podcast and you guys listening, we've gotten a lot of text, emails, stuff being like, you guys gone? You guys okay? What happened with the podcast? That kind of thing. And I realized that we don't do a good job of,
Public relations.
keeping our audience in the know. Which we try to do a little bit of that on our Discord. And
But that doesn't make up our whole.
it doesn't make up our entire listener base. And we probably should be doing more of that on our Patreon because those are our supporters.
Mm-hmm.
So I say all that to say that we are potentially looking into. I think we did mention it the last time too as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we were looking into getting a PR person.
Yeah.
Which still isn't dialed in yet.
We thought we had one dialed in, but it turned out not to be dialed in.
Yeah.
Fall off the face of the earth, but whatever.
So we are looking to get a PR person, and that should definitely rectify a lot of these issues to help keep the audience in the know. So we do apologize for that, but moving forward, we should be pretty dialed in, not just equipment wise, but social media and public relation wise. I guess we'll make an additional effort on that. But with that, just kind of give you guys an update as far as all the things that's been going on around here. Because not just
well, not just that, yeah, like on that same vein.
Not just the podcast got updated, but the lounge did as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we go into that, in terms of things that went wrong,
Oh
as
yeah,
you can tell by my voice, I'm a little under the weather, or was under the weather, over it now. But apparently, I got COVID.
mm-hmm.
We've discussed COVID many times on this platform.
Mm-hmm.
And now I guess we have first-person experience. I mean, we kind of had it before. Cause,
Yeah, I had it before.
Yeah. But, yeah. So I'm on the better end of it. Every morning I wake up with like these sneezing spells, which is kind of weird. I don't even know. That's probably just residuals from, leftover stuff in my sinuses, or I don't know. But it's kind of weird. So I'm going to sound weird for a little bit, but I don't think it's that bad. I think it's
not that bad.
it's on the it's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really to report about COVID. It's what you expect, another cold, pretty much. Let's not make it bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
That's the most we're gonna say on that.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, we did get some updates. Like we mentioned before in the podcast that we were doing some updates, and we're finally going.
Yeah.
We've gone through with a lot of it.
I would say 80% of it is done.
Yeah.
The lounge looks great now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We got the new station put in. The new station put in.
Mm-hmm.
So I got another one to do.
Yep.
And we still have the platform to build for the one station.
stage platform to build. And yeah.
Yeah, that's it. But the new chairs came in.
New chairs came in.
Got some new chairs. It just having more of those chairs in the lounge makes it feel more like a lounge.
Mm-hmm.
People. It's more comfortable seating area, not just the folding chairs that we can utilize for extra people, but just the nice, comfy leather chairs people can lounge around, hang out. It makes the lounge feel more complete, especially that bigger room that was pretty open area.
Yeah.
For a while.
And I mean, for good reason, because at first we had the VR setup, which we've kind of done away with. which kind of was good for us, you know.
It
for a
was,
long-
and people still ask about it. Actually,
people, like almost every week, I get a question about it.
you should try something.
But well, now with the new setup, it's going to be more difficult, but
It is
not impossible.
not
just
impossible.
Difficult. Well,
Just move the table into the table and chair.
Yeah,
up, and
yeah,
we should be
but-
straight.
but yeah. So at some point, we should rectify that so we can get that back going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on the list of things to do, which seems to be getting longer every day. We have so much things that we need to take care of here at the lounge, but there is a lounge, and things still keep rolling
100%.
every day.
With the new setup, of course, we you know with the Switch Sports getting released, that's been kind of fun here too as well. Seeing people play that, have a grand old time.
We should probably do more PR on that. I don't think a lot of people know that that's even out.
Or that we even have it.
I think people would enjoy that actually.
100%. But yeah, outside of all of that, you know, the usual update things continue. New people,
New memberships.
new stuff. Actually, we got some new things in
We got a bunch of new stuff
to
in.
you know, to kind of like a little gift shop thing.
Yeah,
we got going on now because we had the collectibles and toys there. Those have always been great for us. Of course, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards and everything. But now we have like a little gift shop kind of a thing going, where we got some nice little things for people. You know, once you're done playing and everything, and you're on your way out. You know, we got the tip jar there, which, you know, you could put some in the tip jar if you like. But we have these, you know, little trinkets that people can, you know, take home and, you know.
Small things that people can, you know, and it's stuff based on, you know, anime and stuff like that, but it also gives people a sense of expression, I guess. You know, there's things people can use to, I find, like, express themselves, which, you know, giving people that kind of a...
Another accessory to do that.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me because, you know, sometimes you don't think, you know, someone would be into something like that. And, you know, I've seen people, you know, do, you know, express themselves in many different ways. Like, I've seen people use, you know...
Yeah, we got, like, anime pins, like the stickers.
Pins.
The prints, the croc charms.
Croc charms.
It's a lot of little trinkets like that, like little small figures and stuff like that. So, you know, again, it's based around anime, and we're going to be getting some more of those stuff in. But it's a ton of it, and it was good. I think it's good for the lounge because, you know, people, you know, the bigger figures kind of go over most people. Most people are like, I'll think about it, or I think, but
those have been going through. We're
pretty low on those.
We're very light on those.
Mm-hmm.
A big shipment is supposed to be coming in. Actually, it should be here by now. Actually,
Should be. Hopefully.
Check the mail. But yeah, we should be getting a really nice shipment of figures because we're really low right now.
Yep.
Things been flying out the door.
Yeah, it's been good here. Things have been rolling here at the lounge. We've actually, you know, we set goals for ourselves, and we usually hit our numbers. So, things are trending in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And some other financial things are on the horizon that could, you know, put us in a good spot.
Looking forward to it.
Definitely looking forward to that. Another major thing that happened while we're on this hiatus, which is actually pretty recently, which is yesterday. We had our first Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
And you know, I'm just gonna just full disclosure. When it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, you know, we're pretty knowledgeable, but my whole idea for doing the Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments was more of a giving back to the Yu-Gi-Oh community here, because they've supported us really, really, really well here. Like they've truly embraced the lounge and everything that we do here.
Yeah, they come almost every day now.
There's always somebody from, you know, the Yu-Gi community, either buying cards or, you know, they came for cards, but now they're, you know, playing on the game stuff. You know, so there's a lot of people in that space that, you know, truly support everything VIVN, and they go hard for us. So doing the tournaments was kind of more of a giving back to them. It was not really something for like us to like make a whole lot of money on. So, but I still want to do something that they could appreciate, they could have fun with, and that's something that's duplicatable.
Yeah.
And I think because one of them in the Yu-Gi community had actually tried to do a Yu-Gi tournament before, and it wasn't successful. So it was like, okay, how do we find the right formula, the right recipe to make this thing, you know, something that's duplicatable, something that people can enjoy, and something that, you know,
we can do pretty often.
That we can do often, and that they could get something out of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we find the right formula. Not really gonna bore you guys with the details because a lot of you guys probably not even into Yu-Gi or anything like that. And it probably would make a lot of sense to people that aren't listening. If you are from the Yu-Gi community and you know exactly what we're talking about, that's fine. But I think we found the right formula, and it works, and the response has been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. Honestly, I didn't expect it to have such a good turnout or have such a great response.
Great, yeah, it was great energy in the room for sure.
Great energy in the room.
Just being in the room, even though it did run late.
It ran super late.
It ran a lot later than we expected, but now we know how to. We anticipate it now. We can improve it better moving forward. But even though it was a late event, it was still good energy in the room all night. Like at no point was I falling asleep or anything.
No, it was good energy in the room. A lot of people showed up late.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like down to when it was about to finish. Some people just showed up just to watch. They weren't really, but they're definitely people that play Yu-Gi-Oh! And they showed up, just check out what's going on, and even they had a good time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just a good vibes all around. Like I can't wait. I honestly wish we could do them more often. Honestly,
I do too, but I think we'll definitely get burned out.
It could be burned. We could definitely get burned out. So it also gives them time to prepare and adjust their decks to get ready for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to kind of do like a champion kind of thing, like have something. I don't know how we're. I mean, we kind of discussed it before, but I want to have something where we kind of showcase,
like a champ.
Champion
Hall of Fame or talent.
Yeah, like a champion corner kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of something somewhere. Maybe
Yeah.
on the.
Got a couple ideas that we can probably utilize, but yeah, definitely. But again, the event turned out great.
Super great.
Especially for our first one too.
Yeah.
I was definitely pleased with it and the turnout, and it's only get better because everyone that came had a great time. A lot of them was their first
Their first tournament.
first time in a tournament
Mm.
or of any sorts. And everyone, even though people there were some people that had to leave, even them they had a good time
Mm-hmm.
for the time that they were there. And I think the raffle was a hit too as well.
The raffle, we did a raffle, and the raffle was perfect. The thing about doing raffles, you have to have proper prizes. Else people are not going to participate. And I think, what the prizes were, and we kind of made like a little mini game out of it, where it was kind of like its own event in a sense.
Yeah, it kind of was actually.
It literally is its own event. So it's like the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament is like a two-part event.
Mm-hmm.
Where maybe you don't participate in the tournament, but you're still a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh and you want to win some Yu-Gi-Oh prizes. You still take part in the raffle, and it's its own thing.
Yeah.
So, I think the Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments are perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just a matter of keeping product in stock, so it's like whenever it's time to do a tournament, we can just do a tournament.
Yeah, and that's one issue that we have is
Yeah.
keeping Yu-Gi-Oh product in stock, which
It's a good thing and a bad thing.
it's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have because they do go hard, and some people will buy up tons of product at a time. And apart from that, sometimes things take like almost like a week, 2 weeks to get here. So it's like, and sometimes you don't want to overstock on certain things either because the meta is always changing, and
Yeah, you don't want your money just sitting. You want to keep that money cycling as much as possible.
and with the group we have there, and it's a growing group because we've added multiple new people to the community, and it continues to grow. But I still feel like there's a lot more room to grow.
100%.
I feel like there's a lot more room to grow.
Sky's still the limit for that.
Sky's still the limit, and it could be even bigger.
Yeah, we may have to start doing 2 tournaments a month, like one for newbies and one for anybody, kind of thing.
Yeah, we could do that. But then like, what would determine a newbie? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's finding that right.
Yeah.
Because who would you consider a newbie? Like, there's some people that think they're newbies, but they held their own in the tournament. So like,
Yeah.
you put them up against actual newbies, and they'll just demolish them.
But if we get let's say we get a bunch of new people coming in, could probably put a new time, first time players kind of a tournament just for. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just throwing around ideas, but yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh is definitely the lounge is the Yu-Gi-Oh spot. If you play Yu-Gi-Oh and you don't play it here, You don't really play Yu-Gi-Oh.
You don't play Yu-Gi-Oh. Honestly,
This is the home for Yu-Gi-Oh.
This
on
is
the
the
island.
home for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Maybe even the Caribbean, because I think we go harder than most here.
We go pretty hard here. Can't speak for other islands, but I mean maybe Puerto Rico has these because they do official tournaments over there. But we go pretty hard here, and it's just a matter of finding more people that enjoy that medium and giving them things to enjoy.
100%. It's so cool, man. So, again, something that was pretty much an afterthought, for us, something we didn't really, it wasn't a part of the lounge in our initial, plans and build of the lounge. The first iteration of the lounge, if you will, it wasn't really a part of it. We did mention like cards and stuff, but it wasn't like a main player like how it is now.
Yeah, it's huge now.
Which is pretty cool to see. It's pretty dope. And like, what's nice about it too is that it's outside of just playing. Like, it's its own market as well too, because like some of the guys that come here when they get cards, they barter with each other. They because it's a trading card game, so they trade or they sell cards to each other, which is pretty dope.
Which is fine here too. It
has its own market and everything, and it's.
And people pull some really good cards. I mean, we've mentioned it before that people are pulling some, really high value cards.
Some Starlight Rares, which if you don't know, those are
the top of the top. And so far, there's been
2.
I think 3. There's been a Ghost Rare pull.
Yeah. And then 2 Starlight.
And 2 Starlight, which for most people that doesn't mean anything, but that's pretty much top of the top.
Yeah, like you're talking anywhere between $500 to $1,500 cards.
Yeah. Yeah, the last 2 were like, they're pretty much $500 cards, but if you get them sent away and graded, and they come back, like mint and they have different ratings or whatever, it would literally be a $500, $1,500 card.
Yeah, you can tack another $1,000 on that, which is huge. It's crazy to think about that,
Yep.
And we're selling them, and the thing is we don't know what's in the boxes, and that's the magic of it. It's kind of like mining / gambling, if you will, I guess, if you're just if you're into crypto and investments and that kind of thing. You're going in there and you're like,
let's see what I get. Even like someone like me that don't really know a whole lot about the different cards and everything. Here's somebody opening the pack. I'm so excited. Like I want to see what they get, and I'm excited for them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it just creates a good vibe altogether.
Yeah. And seeing people's reaction to when they pull these cards, it's great.
Yep.
It's always memorable. Especially these past couple of weeks have been really good. Very, very gratifying.
When it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, it's been huge for us. Yu-Gi-Oh's been huge for us. And there's still we have like a WhatsApp chat, and there's like that WhatsApp chat is like 30 people deep of people that are into Yu-Gi-Oh. And not even half of them came out for the event. When you think about it, like I felt like if we could find a way to get those people out, except more of them out, I think their minds would be blown, and they would be they would understand what it is we're actually doing here, and it would be huge.
Yeah,
it'd be huger than it is right now. I don't think we'd be able to keep product in stock.
There's that too, yeah.
I mean, right now we're kind of light because obviously, you guys they go pretty hard. So it's just about the more we can keep product in stock, the better it'll be for us. So
yeah. And for those of you that aren't into Yu-Gi-Oh and listening to this and want to know what we have, it's always good to just call and see or come in and see what we have, because it changes.
It changes all the time, but we always make sure we keep a lot of the latest stuff.
Yeah. Which reminds me, we gotta get Alvaz back in, because people have been asking about that. But I mean, the last order I was gonna put together was from the latest box, which is this box right here. You see? That seems to be very popular right now, not just here but worldwide. Yeah.
They're selling out everywhere. And I did find some, and I put it on the cart, but I didn't pull the trigger on it. I'm like, man, I wonder if it's still there, because that's actually the one we're doing the tournament on, and
it was a hit.
So, it was a hit, and I already asked people what they want to do, and they said run it back, same pack, same pack. So yeah, definitely gonna have to
re-up on those.
We still have one more pack, but that's gonna
That's not gonna last.
That's not gonna last. Before the next tournament, that's gonna be gone, and we're gonna need to get more as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, love this stuff. Trading cards, man. It's been one of the longest running,
Mediums for nerd culture, pretty much.
for a long time, and it's still very popular, and still has so much room to grow.
Yep. And speaking of nerd culture, we are planning somewhat of a nerd culture event. It's probably a couple months out, but just so you guys can hear it here first, we were planning somewhat of a kind of a support nerd culture type event, and we're going through a couple of ideas and a couple of things that we want to do here. But we want to do a big event here at the lounge, and not just showcase the lounge, because everyone that comes to the lounge is like, I can't believe this is there.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing. This is incredible. We want to get more people to the lounge, so we want to do a big kind of a celebration of nerd culture event.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when we do that, I think it should, if marketed right, which is a big part of what it's going to take for this event to be successful, is the proper marketing, obviously. But yeah, just keep your ears out for that. We're going to be doing something big, kind of a celebration of nerd culture, kind of support nerd culture event here at the lounge, and I think it'll be a good thing. I think it'll be a good thing. Maybe even throw some cosplay contests in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just we're gonna go hard and geek out and make it a big thing.
Definitely.
See how the VI responds. I think it's gonna be huge because a lot of people come here and they're like they're into like anime and they stuff, but when you look at their parents, you would never guess it.
Mm-hmm.
But when they come here, they start geeking out hard. So we want to do something to kind of show the not so popular kid that this is a big event just for you, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So can't wait for that. It's gonna be dope. I think we're gonna go hard on that. But yeah, that's pretty much the update and everything that we've had going on over the past week and everything that we're gonna have going on in the future. Some of the things that have gone on in the future. A lot of cool things, man. Also, one other thing, project that we're working on, which I guess we'll showcase at some point. We are working on we got, what's the word?
Commissioned
to do a figure for the local superhero, which is VI Guardian, which, if you know Kareem Colwood, his character, the comic book and everything, we got commissioned to make a character, a figure for him. We're utilizing our 3D printer, so we are working on that, and we're supposed to be getting it done for the new release for the comics. He's having a new release, I think, on the 12th or the 13th.
Mm-hmm. And he's planning an event as well.
Mm-hmm. Which we are going to be a part of in some way, obviously with the figure, but it's going to be somewhat of a big event, because he's, he taught some kids, art and all that, and he's doing a book. He did a book with the kids in it.
It's pretty dope.
It's pretty dope, making them a part of the story and all that. So that's gonna be kind of cool. So yeah, we're working on the figure. The hardest, half the work is done, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
There's still some work to be done on it, but it's almost done. And we'll be sure that in a vlog or something or social media post. So look out for that. But other than that, what do we have coming out this week as far as video game stuff? Anything worth mentioning? I know there's been a ton of games that came out while we're on a hiatus.
Yeah.
That we wanted to. We don't disturb, sir.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to cover and get into, but we'll probably get back to a lot of those releases, and we'll cover some of them here because there are some of them that we have been playing very recently.
There's a lot in our hiatus we have been playing
quite a variety of video games, which we'll get into a little bit of those a little bit later, for sure. But as far as what's coming out this week, what do we got?
That's already out, so I don't know why. Maybe I'm guessing there's some DLC coming out for Knockout City. That's a game that's already been out.
Yeah, that's that dodgeball game.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got some DLC coming.
very, very popular title that's coming out, and this is probably going to get me started on a lot of things that I kind of want to discuss. But Diablo Immortal is the big title that's coming out this week.
Man, there's so much good mobile games
for mobile.
There's so much good mobile games coming out.
Which we're going to talk about that right now, actually. Everything else doesn't seem to be that popular. That's actually next week, so I'll hold off on that one till then. But yeah, and there's there's some DLC for Knockout City and Diablo Immortal, which I've been looking out for a long time, but
that game is gonna take a lot of time, huh?
It's
just gonna suck souls.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Because when it comes to mobile games, there's been a lot of really good mobile games coming out lately, like we just said. I guess we're going to segue into what I have been fortunate to be a part of. I was selected to be... I signed up for it. It's not like they select me by random. I'm not that special. To be a beta tester for the new Marvel mobile game.
Yeah, Marvel Snap.
So I'm a beta tester for that. And it's the most addictive game I've played in a long time. Like, I would say I've spent almost 24 hours straight just playing this game at every chance I get, which is bad. It makes you very non-productive, but it's such an addictive game, and it's so good. I don't know how to explain it more than it's really good, because it's, believe it or not, there's elements of Yu-Gi-Oh in it, which I don't really understand a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, but the element that I do understand about Yu-Gi-Oh is definitely prevalent in this game, and there's some elements of poker in this as well. So it's, and then of course you have I guess that covers under parts of Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's definitely a trading card game. So there's there's different cards,
different abilities.
There's so many cards. It's like I just found a new section of the game where you can see all the cards, and I was like, oh boy, there's a whole lot of cards I haven't even seen yet. Haven't even put eyes on yet, and there's some like crazy stuff. And it's so fun to make different decks that play differently, and different abilities. And the gameplay is very fast. Like you can knock out game in a few minutes.
Yeah, it's meant to have quick games, and I like that. I like that aspect of it.
That's part of the problem.
Because you can just play.
You can just keep playing. It's like you get those quick dopamine hits, and you keep going again, and you keep going again. It's a part of addiction that I never realized in a mobile game before. Because like usually, mobile games I would have me on for a while, and like it's like those games, you play, maybe it has some multiplayer aspects of it. You sit there for like maybe 5-10 minutes, battling somebody else. Kind of like your console experience, but it's on mobile. But this is a different type of, quick matches, quick dopamine hits, and you keep going back and you keep going back to do things differently, to play better, and it's like, and it's always different because there's always levels of random to it that just makes it like each game is always going to play differently. And once you get a new card, you want to experiment with that card. You want to see how that card works with your deck. With deck, can it help?
You make a complete deck for it.
Make a complete deck based on that card. It's ridiculous. And like we played the first Marvel card game on mobile before,
which was very addicting, but
which was
in the wrong ways.
It was addictive in the wrong ways. This one is addictive in the right ways.
Yeah.
Because this game you don't have to spend any money. There's no loot packs in this game.
There you go.
You don't like go to the shop, hit the loot pack, get your cards, see what you get. There's not in this game, which is a very interesting way of doing it.
Or maybe that's for the beta.
Maybe that's not for the beta, but pretty much how the game is, like it's very strange how they do it, because a lot of elements I feel don't make sense, but maybe to them it does, or maybe I don't know enough about the game. Maybe I haven't looked into it. But when you level, like there's I forget what it's called, but it's like an area where every time you level up a card, it increases this bar or whatever. As this bar increases, you unlock new cards. So pretty much, and in the advertisement for the game, they said you don't have to spend any money on the game and you can get every card. And I think that's how you do it, is through the leveling up system. But it's so rarely done. So it's like, if each card has different levels, which different, and the levels will increase the rarity. but I don't understand what increasing the rarity does other than moving up that bar. But I also have a feeling, I'm not sure, but I have to do more research. I think the rarer the card is, when it's in your deck, the more often it comes up in your deck. I'm not sure, but I think that, because that
That makes sense.
That would, to me, that would make sense. Because other than that, there's no reason
To level up a card.
to level up the cards. Other
Because
than
it doesn't make it do more. Or
it doesn't make it do more, or no, it doesn't increase the abilities. There's just, it makes it look cooler. Like, it gives it more holographic effects, and it changes the border around it, and it makes it look cooler. But in terms of the actual playing of the card and its abilities, it doesn't increase that by any means. So there's that. That's how you pretty much how you unlock your cards. So you have to. But what I realized is, like, I kind of wasted a lot of those, like, because there's a resource you need to level up your cards, and I kind of wasted a lot of them, just leveling up, cards to legendary just because. But I realized newer cards take less of that resource and move it up a little bit quicker. So it's like there's incentive to every time you get a new card, level that card up immediately. So it's like it helps, like, you move up that thing quick, because, like, if you level up your card to, like, the legendary and stuff like that, like, you're blowing through more resources, and it makes it look like you're going up the bar quicker, but really you're not, because you're just using more resources. For instance, I think it's called credits, but if you use 25 credits to level up a brand new card, like a base card, you move up one tick
on
that bar. But then the next level of that card would require 100 credits to move up 2 ticks. But now that's if you think about the 25, that's 25 times 4, as opposed to just 25 to move up 1.
Gotcha.
So if you just keep using it on your new cards and you keep going up that way, you'll have a lot more credits long term, which I didn't realize. So I was like leveling up just crazy, just like I was leveling up cards I like just because I like them, as opposed to doing it that way. So I feel like I'd have been a lot further on that bar, but now that I know that, I can help. Another thing I wish I knew before is that they actually do give you enough gold to activate the battle pass. I didn't realize that, and I spent my gold on credits just to level up cards because I wanted to move that thing quicker. But
now you got to spend that money, huh?
I'm hoping they still give me some more gold, because I'm not far. I'm a little bit more, just a little bit more gold, and I can get to the battle pass, which will give me tons more rewards and help me go up that thing even quicker anyway. So, but yeah, very addictive game. I play it every chance I get. I'm always playing it. Like, if you see me and I'm just on my phone, I'm definitely playing it. And the thing is, you can get through games pretty quickly, and there's poker elements to it, and there's like you can like if you realize you're gonna lose, you can just leave the game.
Yeah, you can kind of fold, if you will.
Yeah, you just fold, like, poker elements. You can just fold, and it with little to no repercussions for it. But, like, if you poker terms again, if you call, or you double, or you raise, or whatever, there's that elements to it as well too. So you can, that's when, of course, when you fold, then you lose, because you went in when you shouldn't have gone in, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I like that aspect of it. I think it's probably gonna happen for a long time, and, like, that's.
The game's not even out yet.
This is the beta, and I'm hoping I get to keep my stuff. Because I fall in love with a lot of cards, and I'm like, man, how to unlock these cards again would be, to go back through this whole process of I mean, I would still do it. I definitely would still do it, but I would like to keep what I have, and just if they allow, that'll be crazy. If they allow me to keep my stuff, and then I get to,
go through the
battle pass and everything.
Like, creating content for the game as well.
I honestly, I think I should be streaming. I should have streamed it today. I should be streaming tomorrow, but I wouldn't be able to stream it tomorrow because I might have some things to do tomorrow. But I definitely should try streaming this game, because it's fun, and I can help explain it to people so people get an understanding of it. And being that I'm a beta tester is like,
you'll be one of the few.
I'm one of the probably the few people that actually have seen the game, or or if the people that are interested in the game, because it's weird, because when they announced the game, the beta opened up like right after, like there wasn't really much information on the game up until they announced it, and they're announcing it like, it's a Marvel card game. Like, okay, it's another card game, but they don't really know much about it. But
yeah, and again, being that we are, that you're a beta tester, you can, start building that.
But you just gotta get those cards.
Yep. It's the name of the game, the trading card games.
Yep. But again, we say all this because we were kind of talking about mobile games. Mobile games are getting pretty good actually,
Mm-hmm.
because other than this Marvel Snap that came out, Apex Mobile came out.
Apex Mobile came out, and that's kind of where I was spending my time as far as the mobile space. I tried. I made a conscious effort a few years ago to kind of hold off on mobile games, just because of course, they're time consuming, but they take up so much space on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of been avoiding them for the most part. But playing some Smash Legends,
Which I still play.
you know,
Well, I still when I'm not.
started getting me back in the mobile game space. And then of course when Apex Mobile comes out, because I'm a huge Apex fan, I had to jump on it to see what the hype is all about. And I must say it's interesting. It's quite the interesting, port, if you will, because there are things that are just exclusive to mobile, which which original Apex doesn't have.
Which I find interesting.
And it's not just one thing; it's quite a few things. It was like
It's a whole lot of things. I'm like, I feel like there's a different team working on it.
a game called Lightning something that does come up, a logo. So maybe that's them. But yeah, it's even some of the menu stuff are very different looking. But essentially, it's Apex just ported over to mobile, but they add some kind of there's skill trees then, if you will.
Yeah,
Because there's some kind of RPG esque
elements to it.
elements to it. No, not so much, but that's probably a bad example.
They pretty much add a mobile game, like things that people are familiar with on mobile games.
Exactly, they just added to Apex.
To Apex, which
For example, there's a whole skill tree in there that you can unlock perks, you can unlock ability buffs. There's three different
Skill.
tiers of items.
Mm.
There's one skill tree to unlock all of them, but there's three different loadouts, if you will, or things you can add to your loadout,
Mm.
or variations you can add to alter the character. And this is not in the actual Apex game
No.
itself for
Mhm.
console, but it adds a whole new element to a lot of the characters that we enjoy playing for so long. For example, Bangalore, which I've been spending most of my time on, which I don't play much Bangalore on console. I pretty much play everybody on console, but I don't play much Bangalore. But for mobile, she has some variations that make her pretty broken. Make her pretty OP. For example, she has an ability where when she ADSs aimed on the site, she can see through the smoke. She throws out her smoke canisters. And once she ADSs, she can see through the smoke. And it's not like the threat detection scope where they have to be on that scope.
Mm.
Once she's aiming on the site, whether they're in her scope or not,
Mm.
they just show up in the smoke. Which is great. I mean, for Bangalore, because she has the smoke, you can just pop it out. You always have cover. So now when I play her, as soon as I see an enemy, I just throw smoke on them.
And the thing is because it's a mobile game and the graphics aren't the greatest.
The smoke is rough.
The smoke is
Even for me, sometimes when I'm in the smoke, I get lost, and you end up bumping into stuff. If you're trying to walk out of it, you could be caught on a little ledge, and you're walking, you're not getting anywhere. All you're seeing is white. It's rough. So I can only imagine, the enemy, getting that experience and still getting your shields busted, and it's such a problem. And not only that, but you can add. See, she has 2 canisters. You can add a third one. It's one of the variations. You can add even more smoke, which, why not, right? If I can see through the smoke. So, I'm always using smoke. Whenever I opponent down, I do my finisher. Which another buff that you can add is when she does her finisher, you get 100 points towards your evil shield. It's like one of the most broken things in the game. So I just down people, throw smoke on them, run up on them, and finish them. I'm getting 100 points. I get red shields almost every game. It's so broken. So once someone's down, they're getting finished. Once I'm with their box, I got smoke there. Once I'm reviving, I have smoke. I always have smoke. I'm always throwing out smoke. Such a broken character. It feels good. And because it's a mobile game, it's kind of hard to aim if you're not used to the whole space. So there's a lot of people on there that are just struggling to aim. And I do struggle at times. But most times, I'm lasering people. So once there's any bit of struggle, it's a wrap. Especially because most people they fight and they struggle and they're stationary targets. They're not moving. And Apex is known for the movement. If you're not moving around, it's a problem. But because of the mobile game, it's not as easy to do. You can just destroy people, and I'm having a blast doing that. It's great, good times. And I mean, again, because of the mobile aspect of it as well, a lot of the guns play differently. So, for example, you just hold down the shoot button and you're constantly shooting. That goes for like 90% of the guns. So guns are like the scout, which is it's tap. It's usually you just hold the trigger and you're shooting. Guns like wingman, you're just loosing. Longbow, like all those.
Ooh.
So it's great. Now they did the shotguns differently, and rightfully so. So for the shotguns, when you hold the button, you ADS. When you hold the shoot button, you ADS, and when you let it go, you shoot. So it's kind of different.
Interesting.
But it works for the Peacekeeper because when you ADS with the Peacekeeper, it chokes.
Chokes, yeah.
And it works for Bangalore because there's an ADS button, which I hardly use. But when I pick her, I use the Peacekeeper because once I use the shoot button, you go right into it. So I don't have to tap that and then tap the shoot button. I just ADS one time and then let go and hit you. And because it chokes in, it does stupid damage. And you can't see me. It's so broken. I love it. Not to mention her ult. I haven't even gotten to her ult, which is another broken thing about this character. And I'm just using Bangalore as an example. This example could be used for a lot of other characters, but some more than others. But her ult, in the console version, bombs drop, it slows you down, you're hard to. Not in the mobile. The mobile, it's designed for killing, I feel. Because the amount of downs and busted shields I get from using her ult, like, I throw smoke on somebody and I throw it on my ult. And, like, the team is just getting busted up. It's ridiculous. And it's kind of like a Gibby ult, but with a bigger, wider radius. Because her like, in the console version, her bombs fall like in a cone shape. In this, it feels more boxy because I just see like rows and rows of bombs and it's just covering a wide area. It's just like there's no running. There's no way out of it. Unless you're like Octane or Wraith, you're getting hit.
You're just getting it.
It's great. But that's just one example of how broken this game can be. With some of the the new perks and the variations. Like some of the variations, like for Caustic, once he's in his gas, he heals quicker. That's kind of a cool thing. Probably should make its way over to
console, right?
To console. And there's some others. Other people have different things like Wraith. Like once she's down, she can still enter the void. If that ever makes the console, that'd be great for Wraith players. You can just avoid getting hit until you take cover. It's great. So. And, outside of just the character variations of that, they do add, there are some game modes that are exclusive to mobile as well.
Yep, there's a multiplayer.
There's a whole multiplayer area that has, team deathmatch.
Team deathmatch.
They just added arenas, which is pretty cool. But Team Deathmatch is not in the console version, which people have been asking for since season one.
Yeah.
It's in the mobile version.
Again, that's why I feel like it's a different team working on it. And they're like, you want Team Deathmatch? Here you go. They're just doing what they want.
It feels like it. I haven't checked it out yet, but again, Team Deathmatch and Apex, you can't go wrong with that. Like you can only get better at the game by playing Team Deathmatch, because you're getting into those those battles and you're getting
more often. Yep,
more often. So that's kind of cool.
Now I wonder how that works. Is it going to be a loadout or do you?
I'll have to check it out and see.
Do you still have to loot? I doubt you have to loot.
Because it's probably just meant for like quick battles.
Yeah.
So there's that. But outside all that, there's also a mobile exclusive character as well.
Which I found very interesting.
A character that's just in the mobile version of the game, which is okay, sure. Which his name is Fade. Personally, I don't like him. Not for any reason. Like, I guess maybe because he's just in console.
He's just on mobile.
Just on mobile, so that's why I'm just hating on him. But it's a weird-looking character. I don't like his voice. Actually, I know why I don't like him. Well, I know one of the reasons I don't like him. He has a passive that makes him run quicker, and every time it activates, he says charging forward, and for everybody. So once there's one on your team, you are constantly hearing this throughout the entire game. Every couple of seconds, charging forward. It's annoying as hell. So annoying. But yeah, that's his passive. I forget what activates because I haven't played with him. I think I have him unlocked, I could unlock him, but I don't plan to play with him. But he plays kind of like Tracer, where he can kind of reverse
Tracer from Overwatch.
Mm-hmm. So he can kind of get in a battle and just reverse, which would play into my playstyle, like because I play Wraith a lot. So it would kind of be like wraithing backwards, which is what I do anyway with Wraith. And his ult does a weird void move. It's such a weird move because he throws like this bomb, and the bomb goes off, and whoever gets caught in it enters the void for a few seconds, and then they come back out. Now the thing about it is that when he does it, like if you do it to a team, you can see their outline, so you know where they're gonna respawn, so you can kind of get the edge on them that way. From what I've seen of the movie, this is all I've seen it done. So maybe when I play him, I'll get the the utility of it. But he just throws a bomb and they enter the void.
Interesting.
It's kind of a weird thing. But they can enter the void. I guess you can kind of set up for them. By the time they come back out, you can dump on them or whatever. But yeah, there is that. Apex Mobile, and then outside of all that, there's a bunch of mobile exclusive skins as well, which is whatever.
Which I found very interesting. It's like some legendary skins.
Yeah, legendary skins. Yeah,
skins you don't see.
Not just recolors. There are some recolors that you don't see in the game as well, but there's some legendary skins.
All completely remade skins, which I was like, this is definitely a different team working on it, and they're just doing what they want. They're just making what they want. There's they probably had free reigns to do what they need, whatever they want to do, and they're doing it. I don't know. I think we might end up seeing I don't think what's his name is gonna be. Who knows what else they're gonna come up with. But.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. There are some other games that probably want to get into, but we'll probably get into that next podcast. Because there's quite a few games that came out and soon to come out.
Mm-hmm.
They want to get into, but unless you want to say anything on Diablo.
Yeah, that's why we actually started the conversation. But I don't. Other than
can't wait for it to come out.
I've been looking at it for a long time, and I
there's just so much good mobile games now.
There's too many good mobile games that it's like I don't want to do it. Honestly, I'm actually thinking maybe I just shouldn't get it just because I know it's gonna be good. Every video I've seen of it, it looks like stupid good. I'm like, there's no way there should be a mobile game that looks this good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's
Diablo is just that experience,
and to have that experience on mobile, wherever you go, you can just grind because that's one thing Diablo is a grinding ass game. And you can grind as long as you want, wherever you go, no matter what, you can grind.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't want to do it.
Here's what it is.
But I'm
probably gonna do it. With that, I think we will make that transition as per usual into good old fight talk, which we haven't done in a while. Obviously because of the hiatus.
Yeah, we missed a couple of cards.
There's a couple of events that we kind of missed. I would love to go back, but a lot of them were
unfortunately
UFC's kind of been taking a break, huh?
Just like we've been taking a break, UFC's been taking a break.
Not
a break from cards, but a break from.
Well, they did take one last week.
Yeah,
but as far as the quality of the cards have been kind of lackluster to say the least. Only notable thing kind of came out of the last card they had was Holly Holmes got pretty screwed over, huh?
Yeah.
To the point where they're making a lot of people are making us think about the judging. There's been a lot of articles and interviews about what changes should be made to judges and stuff like that. And a lot of the bigger players like Daniel Cormier and Laura Sanko have been voicing their opinion, full on interviews about what needs to happen with the judges. And I think it's a step in the right direction because something definitely needs to be done. Because Holly Holmes won the fight. There's no argument about that.
Yeah.
Most people will tell you that. So
It is what it is, though.
it is what it is.
But I mean, like you said, we missed out on a couple of things. To go over all of it right now would be too crazy. So we're just gonna be moving forward.
There is a card this weekend.
There is a card this weekend. And it falls under, unfortunately, the same vein that UFC cards have been falling under, where it's somewhat lackluster. Not really lackluster, because there's still fights. There's still
There's still fights. There's
still a lot to enjoy there.
Yeah.
But it's lacking some star power. That's what it is. Star power.
There you
go. Not that we don't know who's fighting, but it's
most of you won't.
most of you won't, and it's it's not stars per se.
Yeah.
But this card does have some people that I like.
And some of these could potentially be bangers as well.
Mm-hmm. Versus Jeff Molina against Zumagulov.
There you go.
Zumagulov is no joke, but Jeff Molina is no joke either.
Jeff Molina is no slouch.
I mean, I'm rooting for Molina, but these Russian guys are, I wouldn't fight him.
Yeah, and Tony Gravely.
Tony Gravely's fighting, another good fighter. He's fighting against Johnny Munoz. O'Day Osborne is fighting.
Yep.
Higher up on the card, hopefully he does something that stands out, because he's an exciting guy.
He has the potential to be one of those
Yeah.
Kind of main event the prelims or start off a card kind of thing. He has that kind of potential.
Yes.
Just needs to do a little bit more.
And then you have Joe Solecki against Alexis Silva to be the featured prelim,
which should be a good banger.
We didn't mention JJ Aldrich to start the card.
JJ Aldrich is starting the card as well.
Her fight style doesn't really do it for me.
And
then we have old veteran
Carolina
Kowalkiewicz against another old veteran, Felice Herrig.
Which those two, if they made this card maybe 5 years ago, they probably could have been headliner for like a not like a pay-per-view headliner.
Yeah, like just it could be maybe more than 5 years actually.
You're probably right. More than 5 years. Because these two were, at one point were top of the division, and unfortunately the division has moved on past two of these guys.
Past them.
Carolina was one of those scrappy fighters that very mild-mannered but gets it done. You know what I mean? And she was must-see TV, at least for me anyway. But now we'll see what both of them are at. Obviously the division the way it is. Hopefully they may be making some change to the game. Felice Herrig, haven't seen her in quite some time. She's been just doing OnlyFans apparently. So
gotta make that money.
No, it's a waste of money. Yeah. Moving on, we have Alonzo Metafield.
Well, you'd like to see fight, but he's
hit and miss.
Yes,
he's heavily muscled, so anything past that first round, he's no good to you. Yeah, for the most part. But he is 11-3, so he can still get it done for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What else is exciting? Honestly, some of these people that are in the main card could have been on the prelims. Honestly.
Yeah.
But
truth be told, but
you gotta spread out the star power. You can't have it all on the main card.
Yeah. But we also have Dan Ige fighting.
Dan Ige against Ivalov. Forget about it. Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, Ivalov is 15-0. Dan Ige is 15-5. So it's gonna be a rough night for Dan Ige, but we'll see.
Honestly, a lot of people don't really talk about him.
Ivalov is gonna be a problem.
Ivalov is a real deal. I think his last fight was the most I've seen him in danger. But he's got really good hands, and he's got, I don't want to say Khabib level wrestling, but
decent wrestling.
He has that Russian wrestling that's
hard to deal with.
That's hard to deal with, and he has good hands. So it's like pick your poison.
Mm-hmm.
He is a complete mixed martial artist as it gets right there.
That's gonna be fun. And then we have Alexander Volkov versus Rosenstrike, which that's gonna be an interesting fight because
both guys need a win.
Yeah, I think both of them are still in the top 5, but they're like at the bottom, if even that. So it's gonna be interesting to see where they're at as well.
Both guys Really need a win.
Mhm. Heavyweight division is starting to evolve past these guys, and because I remember once that Rosenstruck was the guy for a long time, undefeated and all that. Now he's wrapped up 3 of them.
Volkov is number 7 and Rosenstruck is number 8.
Okay, so top 10.
Yeah, they're in the top 10, the bottom of the top 10.
There you go. So if this continues, they're going to be out of rankings. So, and these are guys who were title contenders at one point. So, so we'll see. We'll see what both guys bring. I mean, it's for what it's worth. The co-main and the main event of this card should be solid.
Pretty solid. We're definitely gonna watch.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna watch. Get back to UFC. UFC night's been pretty quiet here because there's been no pay-per-views.
No pay-per-views
for a long time. But we have been making up for that in basketball.
Yep, NBA.
We have been doing NBA watch parties here, which has been pretty fun.
Pretty fun.
Pretty epic lately. Of course, we know, as everyone knows, we're huge Dallas Maverick fans.
Mm-hmm.
And we were doing great.
We're doing great.
And I was wanting to do a podcast, wearing the Mavericks gear and, talking about how great we're doing.
But never did a podcast.
It never panned out, and then now we're out, so.
Made all to the Western Conference.
Made all to the Western Conference Finals, so hats off to us for that. Next year we'll tweak, we'll adjust, and we'll come back next year strong.
Yeah, I'm hearing some prospects that we're probably going to be going for that. Somewhat exciting. We'll see if we actually get to them, but I'm also worried about what we're going to lose when we get those prospects. But
yep,
it is what it is.
We'll see, but those have been fun. Of course, finals are coming up Thursday.
Yeah, I think it starts Thursday.
Finals start Thursday, so we'll be watching those here at the lounge still too as well.
Golden State Warriors against Boston Celtics.
Looking good job, Celtics.
I don't see Golden State losing though.
Yeah.
But a lot of LeBron fans are not happy because if Curry wins this ring, he'll be tied. Him and LeBron will be tied, and it just it just lessens his GOAT status. People, LeBron fans feel like he's the best, NBA player, and they well, the thing is, a lot of people they use the how many rings you got based, they use that argument in conjunction with all the rest of your body of work, and for instance, of course, Michael Jordan, he has 6, so if anything less than that, you can't really consider yourself the GOAT. Of course, you might be better than him in certain areas, but they kind of utilize that. And for a long time, LeBron fans were, he was getting there. He got his 4th, questionable 4th, but whatever. So he's getting closer to Michael, but now you have Curry that's getting ready to tie him. And with the state of Golden State, they're not looking to slow down any. They're looking to only get better. Their big center has been injured, but he comes back.
They're a problem,
and they're going to be a huge problem. He's a rookie, he's a young guy, and he's got fresh legs, and he's a pretty tall guy, and he can get it done. So Golden State is only going to get better, barring injuries. They're only going to get better. So what happens when Curry passes LeBron in rings?
Yeah, well, we all know how you feel about LeBron, so I'm sure you'll enjoy that.
I honestly would like to see it happen, because even though he could pass LeBron, I don't think he's going to pass Michael. And even if he does pass, LeBron, it just solidifies Michael being the GOAT, which I feel Michael's the GOAT. So
I think most people, if they really think about it, I think Michael is the GOAT.
We're probably gonna get we're probably losing subscribers as we speak, but not taking away from LeBron. Like, honestly, I would say LeBron is a legit number 2. You can't. I wouldn't put anybody as great basketball players as they've been. I would say LeBron is a legit number 2 because of everything that he's done. Everything that he does outside the sport,
inside and outside the court. Yeah.
He still continues to play at a very high level,
even at
an old age. And the best thing LeBron has ever done, in my opinion, when it comes to basketball, is going back to Cleveland and winning a ring. Prior to that, without him doing that, he wouldn't have my respect. Because of course he went Miami, joined up with a bunch of other superstars to win that ring. Him going back to Cleveland on a relatively unknown team, And of course, stars have come out from that team since then, but a relatively unknown team
At the time.
and winning the ring, that I give him tons of respect for, because that was a big deal to me.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to beat Golden State to do it. You can,
That's saying something.
that's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he earned my respect. Other than that, I sound like I don't know. Some LeBron fans are just a little too much for me. But he's a legit number 2.
Legit.
He's a legit number 2.
There you have it. So, with that, I think that pretty much covers it here at the podcast. Hopefully, didn't lose too many subscribers with those comments, LeBron comments. We're gonna start talking NBA here on the podcast soon. Sure, why not? But yeah, that pretty much covers it here at the podcast. I'm glad to be back. Looking forward to the next episode. We are gonna bring
Some guests.
start bringing the guest in. Gonna start to re-record that lost podcast, which it's a shame that you'll probably never hear it.
I'm glad enough time has passed so we can probably go over some of the same stuff, and it still be kind of fresh to us because
Yeah, instead of doing it right away. And the good thing is the person that was on the podcast, he has been coming to the lounge a lot more.
He's going to
And we're a lot more comfortable with him now, so I think there may be more.
It's gonna be better energy for sure.
It should be better energy with between us and him and everything.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much a regular, which cool guy. So with that, you guys continue to be good to each other. Stay safe out there. Please subscribe as well. IsaacBoyz out.